and welcome to Shell Point Today for Monday, January 18th. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for joining us today. On the program, Jeff Cory of the Legacy Foundation will tell us what to expect at Wednesday's presentation on the top 10 estate planning mistakes. And Robyn Church of the Salon and Spa will explain hair color. Finally, we'll introduce you to a new staff member at the Legacy Foundation, someone you may already know.
But first, we want to let you know about the annual book and media sale at the Library Lounge this Wednesday and Thursday. This will be their most spectacular book sale to date. Gently used and newly released books, specialty items, audiobooks, and DVDs and CDs will be for sale at steal-away prices, most for just $1. Purchases can be made via cash or check only, and you may want to come early for the best deals before they fly off the shelves. This private library in the Resident Activity Center on the island is run by resident volunteers. Proceeds from the sale go toward yearly operating costs. So come on out January 20th and 21st from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. and support a worthy cause while grabbing some great deals to add to your collection.
The Academy of Lifelong Learning wants to make sure you're signed up for Thursday's presentation on the Viking Age and its impact on today. Yes, it's true, they have their own football team in Minnesota, but their influence goes much further than that. However, you'll have to attend Adrian Kerr's class to find out more. In the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands at 4:30, you will investigate what made the Vikings leave their homeland and set off on many dangerous expeditions into the unknown for over 200 years. 200 years? How did they stay alive that long? Must have been quite a journey.
Well, Jeff Cory of the Legacy Foundation, along with the Academy of Lifelong Learning, presents a special presentation on the top 10 estate planning mistakes. Florida Board Certified Wills, Trusts, and Estate Attorneys Craig Hirsch and Michael Hill will talk about the most common estate planning myths and mistakes. To find out more about the event, here's Jeff Cory and Terry Kolath.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath, and I'm here today with Jeff Cory, Executive Director of our own Legacy Foundation here at Shell Point. And we're talking about the first Legacy Seminar of the Spring Academy. This one is the top 10 estate planning mistakes. Subtitle, How to Avoid Frustrating Your Family and Your Heirs. Thanks for joining me, Jeff.
Thank you for having me, Terry.
Well, top 10 in January, that makes me think that maybe it's just about the end of the time we should be thinking about all this.
Well, Terry, the new year, lots of people make resolutions, and one of those things that people like to procrastinate on is their estate plan. So we thought January is a good month for people to come in, have a seminar, talk about review what the important documents that need to be reviewed with your estate plan, wills and power of attorneys and those sorts of things.
And isn't it a kind of a good time to think about all this because most people are actually talking to the tax people this time of year?
It sure is. It's a great time while you're talking about taxes and the influence that may have on your planning as well to also look at your estate plan and make sure that everything's in place. I meet a lot of residents that haven't dusted off their will or trust agreement in many years. It's just great to see, make sure you've got the right people in place and make sure if there's anything new that's changed or if you're a new resident to Florida, you're going to learn a lot at this seminar that's going to be helpful for you.
And isn't it the kind of thing, estate planning, that we do or we chose not to do, and then we think it's out of sight, out of mind?
That's right. I mean, you know, everyone's life changes. We have experiences in life, and sometimes we may lose a loved one or a family member. All sorts of things that play into your estate plan. It's good to review those things occasionally. And we have Craig Hirsch and Mike Hill from the Shepherd Law Firm. They've been here at Shell Point for many years assisting our residents. They do a great job. Really two of the best estate planning attorneys in the area. So it'll be a great seminar.
Well, Jeff, I think it's really always a good thing that we remind the residents of Shell Point that in addition to these experts that you bring in, we do have a foundation right here.
That's right. No, we actually assist residents, a lot of new residents that come to Shell Point, and they want to make sure their estate planning documents are in place, and so we help them through that process, making sure they have power of attorneys and healthcare directives. Again, those are documents that everyone should look at every several years just to make sure that they don't need to make changes. So we're happy to review them, and there's no cost to Shell Point residents.
That's so fabulous, and it's right here on our Shell Point property.
Well, that's right. Well, Shell Point likes to make sure we've got everything covered, and I think as far as retirement communities go, we're one of the few in the country that actually provide the services that we do.
That's fabulous. We're a really, really amazing place, and thank you for being such a great part of it.
Thanks, Terry.
We always appreciate when Jeff Cory and the Legacy Foundation bring us these specialists, and I urge you to take advantage every single month of the Legacy Seminar in the Academy of Lifelong Learning. This one, Wednesday, January 20th. Please sign up at either service desk.
It's time to pay a visit to Robyn Church over at the Island Salon and Spa. She wants to talk to us about the latest hair trends when it comes to coloring your hair. Maybe you'd like to sport a different color or shade, whether you want to go blonde, brunette, red, or something in between. The Salon and Spa has you covered. Or maybe you just need to do something about those roots to cover up some gray.
Hi, my name is Robyn, and I'm the salon manager here at Shell Point. And today I just wanted to share a few tips on some of the latest trends in hair for 2016. Hair color is a big thing with hair these days. And the more natural it looks, the better it looks, and the more youthful it looks. So oftentimes today you're seeing hair color that's a little darker at the root or the base, and then it will gradually get a little lighter. Of course, hair is naturally darker underneath, so oftentimes you see a slightly darker shade underneath as well. Some of the great shades we're seeing this year are golden blondes, but nothing brassy, cool brunettes, and then there's what they call a blonde, which is the middle ground between the blonde and the brunette. So we've got some real exciting things happening, a lot of multi-dimensional hair colors, so adding a few foils, or also another technique called balayage has become very popular in 2015 it became popular, and that is a process where color is painted on the hair, so it makes it, it just kind of blends into a lighter hair color. Behind me I have some of our color swatches that we use in formulating hair color. These are all matrix hair colors. This is our permanent hair color options, anywhere from brunettes, blondes, reds. If you're feeling really daring, we've got some fantasy colors over here. We'll just close that part. And then over here is our color swatches for our ammonia-free hair color. And this is a nice option if you become sensitive to ammonia. Some people develop an allergic reaction, or some people just don't want the ammonia in their hair color formula. So we also have that option as well. Another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at how to style your hair is you want to keep it shiny and healthy looking, because dry, brittle hair will make you look older, because healthy, shiny hair is kind of a vision of youth. So those are some of the hair tips and trends that I've seen for 2016, and I hope you found this informative. If you have any questions, please ask your stylist. They'll be happy to discuss it with you. Thank you and have a great day.
At the Legacy Foundation, there's recently been a staffing addition. There's a new bright, smiling face on board, and Jeff Cory would like to introduce you to them. Are you shy around new people? Well, don't worry. This may be someone you already know.
Hi, I'm Jeff Cory from the Legacy Foundation here at Shell Point. I'm joined today by Melody Desilets. Melody is our volunteer coordinator here at Shell Point. And I also want to announce today to everyone that Melody is joining the Legacy Foundation as our new foundation officer. So welcome to the foundation, Melody.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much, Jeff.
Great. Well, we're here to talk about our upcoming gala that will be happening on January 29th here in the Village Church. And Melody, why don't you tell us all about what's going to be happening?
Absolutely. Well, residents, you'll receive in your mailbox this beautiful invitation, Imagine, celebrating today and envisioning tomorrow. what you want to do is inside you'll see a reply little card. You want to send that back into the Legacy Foundation through internal mail. There's 2 seating options for you. One is at 2:45 in the afternoon, the other is at 6:45. So you make your selection in how many you'd like to have come to this event. And Jeff, you would agree it's a beautiful event and it's well done. We have entertainment. Tell us a little bit about why we have this gala and who's our entertainment.
Well, the gala is really a celebration of life here at Shell Point, and we look back at the last year and also look ahead of a vision for the future. And Mr. Dice will be sharing some exciting things that you won't want to miss. And our entertainment this year is Elizabeth Von Trapp. Many people know The Sound of Music and Maria Von Trapp. This is her granddaughter, Elizabeth, and she'll be performing for us during our shows. It's going to be an exciting time.
Now residents, you don't want to miss this exclusive event that's by special invite only, so be sure to turn in your response cards. If you do have any questions, you want to call the Legacy Foundation at 466-8484. And we want to be sure to say thank you to Finemark Bank and Trust for generously providing beautiful desserts that you will see at this affair. So you don't want to miss it. Thank you for joining us.
And now it's time to take a look at today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections, right after this Listening to the Words preview from David Howenstein.
You're going to meet some very interesting people when you tune in to an encore performance of Listening to the Words this week. Shell Point resident Paul Peterson writes of the enlightening experience he had trying to fashion a garbage can into a gift when he was growing up on the east side of Chicago in the 1930s. Another Shell Point resident, Janice Winchester, writes of letting the moon in the morning sky trigger her imagination so as to guide her back to a truth she had forgotten. Jeanette Batko reads aloud her remembrance of her Aunt Louise, the luckiest lady around. Also a poem that Sanibel Joe Pacheco wrote about the alligator-friendly heat on a summer afternoon in Southwest Florida. The program ends with different examples of kindness, when it really counts. David Howenstein inviting you to listen to this half-hour program, first aired in August of 2013. You can enjoy it now at the top or bottom of each hour, Monday through Sunday, on Shell Point Channel 12.
Hello and welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Caitlin Van Scoy and I'm here with Bev Chanley, and we're going to let you know all of Monday's activities. We start at 8 o'clock with men's match play tennis at the Woodlands. And at 8:45 we have virtual bowling available in the Resident Activity Center. At 9:15, billiards will be available in the Resident Activity Center. The Lollygaggers Paddlers will be meeting at the Kayak Storage at 9:15 for their weekly outing. Pottery will be in the Pottery Studio at 9:15, and at 10 o'clock, men's match play tennis will be at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Also at 10, the Suzy Q heads out to Matanzas on the Bay. Sign-up is required. And the Disciple Men's Bible Study Group will be gathering in the game room of the Woodlands at 10:30. At 10:45, the Table Tennis Playing Clinic will be held in the Tarpon Room on the island. And our last morning activity is at 11:30. It's a Health Connections class entitled Bar Ball Edition. That's in the Health Club on the island and currently closed. Here's Bev to tell you all about our afternoon.
Thank you, Caitlin. We start the afternoon off with the 12 o'clock Mahjong game. That's in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. Samba, the card game, will be in the Resident Activity Center at 1:15. From 1:30 to 3:30, you'll find the Model Train Room open for tours down in the tunnel. We have a Health Connections class at 1:45, Balance and Mobility for Beginners. That's in the Health Club and is currently full. We'll jump to 2 o'clock for the Beady-Eyed Bead Club meeting in the Oak Room of the Woodlands. Get the Skinny on Fat in the Social Center at 2:15. That's a Health Connections class. And at 3 o'clock, we have another Health Connections class, Pilates Stretch. That's in the Health Club. The Palm Beach Atlantic University Orchestra will play at the Island Park at 3 o'clock. At 3:15, the Shell Point Singers rehearsal will be in the choir room at the Village Church. And we have a dinner outing at the Monkey Bar and Steakhouse in Cape Coral. At 4:30, you'll find the Island Court pickups begin, 4:40 for the Woodlands and 4:50 for Eagles Preserve. At 5 o'clock, you'll find the singles table at the Crystal Dining Room available. And Global Impact Week banquet begins at 6 o'clock at the Village Church. You do need to have a ticket for that dinner. We have beginner square dancing in the health club at 6:30. Also at 6:30, we have duplicate bridge in the game room of the Woodlands. At 7:15, the Global Impact service will be at the Village Church. And our last activity is 7:30 square dancing in the health club, and that's currently full. Well, we're sure glad you joined us here today. We will see you back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Monday. At 10:15, we have an iPad class. What are the basics? For those who have signed up in the Manatee Room on the island. At 10:30, Anatomy of Words meets in the Oak Room of the Woodlands, and they invite everyone. At 1:15, Basic Mac Laptop will continue in the Technology Teaching Center on the island. Tomorrow we have one new class I'd like to tell you about. It is Symphonic Folklore. It will be taught by Near Cabaretti, the conductor of the Southwest Florida Symphony.
Menus for Monday. The Crystal Room features a turkey pot pie with mashed potatoes and green beans today. The dinner special is the Old Home Cooking Night for $13.95. Soup of the day is vegetable beef. In the Island Cafe for lunch, you can have a teriyaki chicken sandwich with pineapple and fries for $7.75. The dinner special is grilled salmon with yellow rice and mixed vegetables for $8.75. And the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey, and with me is Pastor Andrew Hawkins. Andy, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
It's time to talk about Missions Week, a very exciting time coming up.
That's right, and we're off to a great start.
That's right. I think you might like to have something to say about the Sunday and Monday services, for example.
Yeah, well, certainly we enjoyed the Sunday services because we had David Laufer, who was the Assistant Vice President for International Ministries of the Christian and Missionary Alliance. The Christian and Missionary Alliance, as you know, is the denomination with which the Village Church is associated, and the means by which we carry out our international work. And so David is uniquely qualified to be able to give a big picture, and he's already started to have done that on Sunday, but now today is Monday, and we have a wonderful opportunity to hear him one final time for our annual banquet.
Good.
And then, of course, the banquet is, I think, I don't know whether there are tickets available at the moment or not. People can still give the office a call and just check it out. But we have a wonderful meal planned, an excellent program, some outstanding musicians will be involved in it. But then David will, again, help us to understand the nature of the missions work, of our international work globally, how it's accomplished. And he's an excellent speaker, and we're grateful to be able to have him to really get at the heart of what we're all about here.
That's good. I hear there are a few more places available as of Monday, but it would be important for people to call and not take that for granted. But supposing they don't come to the banquet but want to come to the evening service?
Certainly they can come to the evening program, which begins at 7:15.
Okay.
So doors open at 5:30, meal begins at 6-ish. I think, and then the program begins at 7:15, and so people who aren't able to come to the banquet can certainly participate in the program at that point.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next night as well, Tuesday night, tomorrow.
Yes, tell us about that.
Well, Charlotte Heisel will be our speaker. She came several years ago and was quite a big hit. I remember one night she came in disguise. We thought she was a Portuguese woman. And she had us all kidded for a long time. And once we got the message, of course, the disguise came off. So she's a creative speaker. And I'm interested, too, because having served myself in Europe for many years and spent some time in Portugal where she is serving the Lord, I want to hear her report about how it's going there.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I know Europe can be kind of a tough go in terms of communicating the gospel, but at the same time, there's some wonderful fruit that's coming out
Absolutely.
of ministry in Europe, and I'm looking forward to a report on Portugal also.
That's great.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
then we have Wednesday.
Yeah. And Wednesday we have John Sapia as our main speaker on that evening. That's a 7:15 start time. And John is ministering in Paraguay. And that's an exciting area of ministry. There's a lot happening in Latin America in general. And John will certainly bring us up to date along those lines. In addition to that, I think that there are some other activities that they're engaged in with different people during the week. Both him and Charlotte Heisel in making connections in various ways with individuals. And so it's not just these programs that we're able to make some connections with. There's some one-on-one small group kinds of connections that they're able to make. It's an exciting week. I've always enjoyed Global Impact Week, and it's one of those kinds of things. And then Thursday, what's happening on Thursday?
Well, Thursday we're breaking with tradition because the open forum, as we're calling it, that we usually run on a Friday morning, will be at the Grand Cypress Room on Thursday at 10 o'clock at the Woodlands. And Wayne Fricke, who's part of our missions committee, will be chairing that. And he'll be asking questions of the participants, John Sapia, Charlotte Heisel, and there will be some congregational interchange with them. It'll be a good time. It'll be informal. It'll be coffee and a few goodies. Which always brings out the crowd, of course, at Shell Point. But I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. It's informal, but at the same time very informative. Yeah. So lots of good things happening.
Yeah, and certainly people who aren't regular attenders of the Village Church are welcome to come to all of those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And especially that open forum is a good opportunity for some interaction and questions and answers. And so whether a person is a regular attender of the Village Church or not, to get a glimpse on what's happening all across the world, this is a great week to do that. And there's some obviously some interesting things. Sometimes you hear things on the news. Sometimes you don't hear some things on the news that you ought to hear, and that kind of thing will be characteristic, I think, of all of our speakers this week.
There'll be a big meeting Friday night, but I think we should leave that to others to explain.
That's exactly right. They'll need to stay tuned for another day, and we'll look forward to how that unfolds before us.
And we'll look forward to seeing you at some point during the week, during Global Impact Week. Thank you for tuning in once again to Village Church Connections.
Thanks for joining us for Shell Point Today for Monday, January 18th. Come back tomorrow when we'll hear all about the upcoming Gala event from the Legacy Foundation. Adrian Kerr will give us a preview of his class on the Viking Age, and we'll show you some of the images from last week's LifeQuest Expo. Until then, I'm Rich Nation.
And I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi. Thank you for spending some time with us on Shell Point Today, and we'll see you again tomorrow.